Okay, today I'm going to be talking to you guys about Star Wars. I'm sure we all love Star Wars. It's a great part of our history, and hopefully you guys will enjoy my presentation about it. So there are two main sectors of Star Wars. There's the original trilogy, and then there's also the prequels. Now the prequels are probably much more hated than the original three films, but I'm going to try to convince you guys why you should like the prequels. There are three main reasons. One is nostalgia. There's a lot of references from the original trilogy, and I think this really adds to the idea of why the prequels should be good, considered good. Number two, visuals. They are far superior in the prequels. The use of CGI, it makes the Star Wars universe that much more stunning, and they are also very fresh with new concepts. Okay, starting with nostalgia, we have that original time when you go to the movie theater and you see the Star Wars scroll begin with John Williams' theme song, and that really brings back a lot of nostalgia that we got from the original trilogy. Character nostalgia is one of the most important aspects of the prequel trilogies. We got to see this guy, Yoda, in action, which I think we all can agree was freaking fantastic. And also we got to see other characters such as Obi-Wan, a young Darth Vader, and R2-D2 and C-3PO. We learned a little bit about their origin stories. Also, there was a lot of closure. Um, One of those things was the Death Star. We got to see the plans in the Death Star in Episode 2, which was amazing. I really loved that part. And then we actually got to see it being built at the end of Episode 3. And there are other examples like this, such as Darth Vader. Darth Vader is probably the most, inserts the most nostalgia in the prequels. We got to see this guy's total upbringing, and it was amazing. We saw him as a boy on Tatooine all the way up until the villain, the iconic villain that we know today. Next, we have visuals. The visuals are far superior in the prequels than in the original trilogy, in my opinion, and I hope through my reasoning you guys will understand what I see from this. Number one, the lightsaber duels are amazing in the prequels. Let's just think about that lightsaber duel between Anakin and Obi-Wan at the end of Episode 3. Remember how intense that was? Compare that to Anakin and Darth Vader. Darth Vader and Obi-Wan in Episode 4. That was pathetic in comparison. Also, we have a lot more characters. This guy's name is Kit Fisto. He was a Jedi. The prequels added a whole new layer of Star Wars species and characters, and I really think that's one of the visually spectacular parts about them. A lot of people knock the CGI effects used in the prequels, but I really think that they help expand the Star Wars universe. This was amazing. We got to see some planets that we would have never been possible with the technology that was used in the original trilogy. So in summary, the visuals were much better in the prequels. And if we look at this poster right here, we can see how Darth Vader looks so much better at the end of Episode 3 than he did in the original trilogies. He just has a whole freshness about him that I really liked. And also General Grievous in the bottom left-hand corner, he's pretty much impossible to do without the use of CGI, and I think he was really visually spectacular character. Next, we have the freshness. The freshness of the prequels really brought a whole new layer into the Star Wars saga, and I'm sure we all enjoyed seeing everything back up on the screen. And we also got to see a lot of new things, such as planets, characters, Jedi, and I'll go into that a little bit more now. The first fresh thing that I thought was nice about the prequels was Darth Maul's double-sided lightsaber. This lightsaber was really something new that took a new approach on an old view of the classic Jedi weapon, and I really enjoyed this. We got to see so many more Jedi than the three in the original trilogy. We only got to see Yoda, Obi-Wan, and Luke Skywalker in the original trilogy, but we got to see the whole freaking order in the prequels. This was amazing. It had new characters such as Qui-Gon Jinn, Mace Windu, etc. The planets were also fresh in the prequels. I mean, if we look at Coruscant and Naboo compared to Hoth and Endor, which were basically just snow and forest, respectively, they were so much more spectacular and better, in my opinion. Okay, so we can't talk about why the prequels are good without discrediting this monstrosity, but I think that's exactly what George Lucas did. He discredited him by getting rid of him almost completely from Episode 1 to Episode 2. He cut his screen time to about a tenth of what it was, and he did that even more in Episode 3. So I think that George Lucas getting rid of this terrible character known as Jar Jar Binks really helped, revive the prequels. All right, now we're going to look at the first episode of the sequel trilogy, and this had all the same three effects: nostalgia, freshness, and visuals. I really liked how they references the original trilogies and the prequels, and they kept a fresh look, such as the new Stormtrooper gear, and there was also spectacular visuals. Thank you, J.J. Abrams. So what do you guys think? Are the prequels really that bad? Can you guys see them in the same perspective that I see them? I really hope this helps you guys realize that not all Star Wars movies, not all Star Wars prequels are bad. Thank you.